We got a special treat for the next couple of days. A man who has meant a lot to my career. My first real job here at WFAN was producing the midday show with Joe and Evan, and started back in February 2008. Wow. And then from there, I was able to do some voices and do his impersonations, and Chernoff said, "Why don't you do a show?" And it was because Joe and Steve Summers and others allowed me to pop the mic open. So anytime I get to sit next to this guy, it is a real treat for me. And to see him in the morning puts a big smile on my face. The great Joe Benigno. Joe, good morning. What's happening?
Gee, you woke me up. I'm up early anyway. The cats get me up. How you doing, bro?
The cats get you up.
They really do. You know, the only negative about doing this show is I got to put makeup on, man. I mean, I tell you, I did SNY for all those years, and that was like the low point of my day. Putting makeup on.
Really?
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, because it gets all over the place. I mean, they put the foundation on you. Come on.
I know.
I'm not a big fan.
I just figured you'd be used to it, though, from all those years that you were on TV. You did SNY for what? Like almost a decade, I feel like?
I think 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years.
Yeah.
You did it, put on makeup for 7 years.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like it, but I did it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
What
are you going to do?
I understand, but you have to, and you do have a very Mets-themed outfit
Mets
today.
Yeah, I'm wearing my Mets stuff, and I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
I will be very ticked off if the Mets trade Verlander. I do not want him traded. Because then you're telling me Uncle Stevie, okay? All right? Uncle Stevie's telling me after he sold me a bill of goods, 3 to 5 years we're winning a championship. He spends $80 gazillion. He spends $36 million to get rid of Scherzer. If you get rid of Verlander, you're telling me you're punting on next year. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, I think that if you don't make major changes with the roster from top to bottom, you're still punting on next year. I don't know that this team.
Major changes?
Well, I'm telling you right now, the core of this team is not very good.
Okay, so the core of the team. The core of the team is Lindor, Alonso, Nimmo, McNeil.
Yes.
I guess McNeil you could get rid of. You're not getting rid of the other guys.
No, I understand, but all right.
They also were the core of the team that won 101 games last year.
Yeah, I know, but that was a fraud season. You know it. Yes, absolutely. That team was not that good. I mean, there was like a special thing that was going on, and Buck got back into it, and all of a sudden all these guys got hot. But, I mean, the real Mets team was what we saw at the end of the year, the one that can't beat the Braves.
How much, and I think this was a big factor, okay, how much did the Diaz injury really set the tone for this team?
Yeah, it might have. I mean, that's just a straight mental thing, though. I really think that it had more to do with the fact that they had such a great year and it ended with a thud.
Right.
And then they came back and were like, we got to work all the way back to get to the playoffs, and the regular season obviously means nothing, and they came in flat. And then you had Verlander on the IL. Then you had a weird start with Scherzer, and then his suspension, and then all these guys.
Scherzer was terrible. I mean, every big game he pitched for the Mets, he stunk.
Yeah.
Every one.
Yeah, and
so I had no problem getting rid of him. I really didn't.
And you've seen a lot of Mets baseball. Can you ever remember a season where they have been healthy and every player, position player, everyday player on the team underachieved to this level? I can never remember a season.
Look, I mean, it's been pretty bad. I mean, I still say this, though. Look, Alonso, the injury, when Alonso got hit in the hand by Charlie Morton, and he hit him on purpose, and I don't want to hear the nonsense. He didn't hit him. I didn't mean to hit him. That's BS. He meant to hit him, okay?
Yeah.
And when the Mets play the Braves late in the season, somebody has to drill Ronald Acuna. Somebody has to. And that's the other thing with this team. They get hit all the time. I have never seen a team the last 2 years get hit by pitches more than the Mets do.
Yeah.
They're like good for 3 or 4 a game.
Yeah, and
they take liberties on Alonso. It's unbelievable.
Well, how about McNeil getting drilled in the back?
Did.
And then
he almost went after him there too. He had that look like he was ready to go.
Well, I was hoping that he would, because nobody has stood up for themselves. And then Buck, by the way, who I don't want to say, I like Buck. He should be the manager. But he doesn't stand up for these guys on the field ever.
Well, Buck never. He only gives you his humana. I mean, I'd like to see Buck one time and say, you know what, we stink. How about him saying that?
Yeah. Well, none of these managers do that.
Good.
Yeah, none of the managers do that anymore. I mean,
there's
Aaron,
been a couple that have said that.
Yeah, not this year. I mean, not in recent memory. And Buck's never going to say it. Aaron Boone's never going to say it. But I mean, the fact that he had a couple of guys, Buck, get thrown out with the sticky stuff, and he just sat there with his hands in his back pocket, and
right.
he just stands on the top step of the dugout with a puss on his face when guys get hit, and never really does anything about it, or never. And then the fact that the Mets don't police it themselves. And Ron Darling said it best the other day during the game. I know that not every one of these things is intentional, but the fact that you're getting hit this much.
No, he's right. I heard what he said.
Sometimes it's just someone's got to pay for the fact that you can't get the ball over the plate.
There would be no problem if I saw a brawl with this team.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's see some life.
I'm wearing Darryl today. Darryl would have went there. You just think about it. That team in the 80s,
of course,
they would have all been at the mound.
Right.
Everybody.
Absolutely.
You would have never done what they do to this team now.
But even last year when they were good, they got hit more than everybody.
No, they did.
They didn't do anything about it.
Constantly.
I don't know. It's strange. But, yeah, if the only way that I would be okay with Verlander going is if you got another one of these packages that you would never get for a 40-year-old making $40 million.
But here's the thing. You're going to have to – he's already paid. So Cohen's already paid.
Yeah.
And I know he's got this endless money, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems that way. He's already paid $36 million to get rid of Scherzer. So how much is he going to pay to get rid of Verlander? You're going to have to pay at least that, right?
Would you rather have, though, more money to spend and not have those two guys around, as opposed to having those two guys around and then paying them the full
one guy's
freight?
gone. Like I said, Scherzer, I have no problem. This guy's different. And this guy's a good pitcher. He's better than Scherzer is.
Sure.
He's better.
Yeah.
And he's just starting to come around now. I know he was a little shaky the other day. Only went 5 1/3 through 100 pitches. But he only gave up one run. He's starting to find himself. He's still a really good pitcher, even at almost however old he is, 40 years old. And you're telling me that you're punting on next year when you sold me a bill of goods that you're going to be a contender for 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear. No.
I also think it's a rare opportunity, though, to be able to. You can't trade guys who are 40 years old making $40 million and get back big prospects. The only way you can is if you pay the freight. Steve Cohen is willing to do that. He's one of the owners that's willing to do that.
I am not happy if they do it. I got to tell you, I'm not. I don't care that you trade Canna. I don't care that you trade Tommy Pham, even though you trade him for nothing. I mean, that gets me too.
Yeah.
I mean, even like the Robertson trade. Scherzer had no problem with the Robertson trade. You give this guy away for 2 18-year-olds. The chances are you are never going to see the light of day as Mets.
Right, and you did it like 4 days before the trade deadline.
Right. I mean, I didn't get that. I really didn't.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do now? Who are you going to trade? Let's say they don't trade Verlander, but they're still going to trade. So they're going to trade McNeil. You're not trading Alonso.
No.
You can't trade him.
No.
You're not trading Lindor because nobody's taking the contract, okay? And the one thing I would say about Lindor is the guy plays every day. I mean, there's something for that. Guy plays every day.
I know. I respect him for that. But can you see the Mets finally breaking this championship drought from 1986, Canyon of Heroes, with the two best players, everyday players on the team being Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor?
Alonso's one of the premier home run hitters in baseball. He's going to give you 40-plus and 100-plus every year.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously, Pete Alonso, to me, if he's not already, is certainly on his way to being the greatest everyday player they've ever had.
Yeah, I know, but that's also like winning best complexion in a leper colony.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you mean? Why are you so down on him?
Why? Because I'm not down on him. I'm just saying
would you trade him now? You're going to trade him?
I would not trade Pete Alonso. He's the one guy I would not trade.
In fact, they should sign him now.
Yeah,
he should get a contract now because I'll tell you right now, I don't want to have to go through what the Yankee fans went through last year, sweating out whether Aaron Judge was leaving or not.
Yeah, no, he's the one guy I wouldn't trade. I have this. There's certain teams that I have seen where I feel like the makeup of them has potential to win a championship.
Okay.
This one, even despite the 101 wins, this one they're too streaky. Lindor and Alonso are way too streaky. Okay. And also, by the way, Francisco Lindor, I mean, everybody, and he does play every day, all the respect in the world, and I think Mets fans, they'll hang on to the fact that he's a good player, but my Lord, I mean, he is for what he gets paid. His production doesn't even come close to that salary.
No. He's not. Look, he should have never got a $340 million contract. I mean, I agree with that.
Yeah,
that there's no issue about.
And you're stuck with him.
Well, they
just
are
like the Yankees are stuck with Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah,
I mean, and you're going to get okay.
I would have traded Scherzer for Stanton. I would have seen if the Yankees were interested in that.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'll tell you right now, you get Stanton out of the Bronx and you get him back to Citi Field where he's hit about 7 million home runs. I can only imagine.
What about Verlander for Stanton?
I'm not trading Verlander. I'll trade Verlander for Ohtani as long as we could sign him.
Here's another thing.
And that's the other thing. Is he's got to, and look, I don't know if Ohtani's coming here, but he's got to make a run at Ohtani.
Well, exactly. It's amazing.
He has to.
It's amazing to me that this guy is the biggest free agent to ever hit the market. And Steve Cohen is the richest owner.
I'm allowed to drink coffee on the show, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, as long as it's Dunkin', because we are the Dunkin'.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad I got
coffee.
Dunkin'.
Right, perfect.
There you go.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Show this here?
Yeah, look at that. Perfect. So you've got the richest owner in the history of the sport, the biggest free agent ever, and it seems like the Mets are not in on him. Now, and you got the GM that extracted him from Japan.
See, this is, let me go back to this, okay? If that's the case, then Steve Cohen, I mean, you're full of it, Steve.
Yeah, I know.
Okay? If you don't go after Ohtani, and I don't know if he's coming here, okay? Everybody says he's going to go to the Dodgers. Who knows? Maybe he stays in Anaheim. I don't know what he's going to do. But you know what? You have to go after him if you're Steve Cohen. You got all this money, $400 million payroll, and all this nonsense, and you're telling me that you're not making a run at him?
Well, make a run. How about they have to have the biggest offer?
No question. Nobody should have. Of course. Nobody should outbid him.
Yeah, exactly. He has to have the biggest offer.
Right.
And why? And the thing that scared me. So when Steve Cohen had that press conference in the middle of the year, everybody said he didn't say anything and it was useless, whatever. No, he did say stuff in that thing. You really had to pay attention. And what he said was, the biggest thing was him losing money at the clip that he's losing is not sustainable. And that right there told me that they were out on Shohei Ohtani. And he also talked about rebuilding the farm system. So, like, those things right there, and then the Scherzer deal and the Robertson deal and all those things falling together makes me think that they're more concerned about the long-term success and the farm system and bringing guys up than winning right now. And they think, especially getting burned with the payroll and the terrible year they've had this year, I don't think they want to give Shohei Ohtani $55 million, $60 million a year. I don't think they want to.
Well, let me tell you, man, and Steve Cohen is full of it then. You know what? You know, because at least I knew, and not that I want the Wilpons back, don't get me wrong, but I knew what I was getting with the Wilpons, okay? I knew what the deal was, okay? This guy came here, he's selling us a bill of goods, he's got all this money, you know, he's done the right thing, he put the Seaver statue up finally, he's retiring numbers. By the way, Doc and Darryl better be retired, you know, soon. That's another story. I've been jumping on that for a while, all right? But, you know, he's done that. He retired Kuzma's number, Keith's number, even Willie Mays, all of that. Okay, all of that is good stuff. No doubt about it. I'm all for that. But, you know, you can't come here and now and after a couple years say, well, you know what? We're going to rebuild now. You know, suck it up, Met fans, and, you know, go live with 70 wins next year. Yeah. No.
Well, spending all that money didn't work this year. Maybe that changes his philosophy.
Well, but I mean, okay, then come out and say it. You know what? Then I want to hear Steve Cohen have the guts to come out and tell the Met fans, all right, hey, we're punting on next year. I just want to let you know. And if he trades Verlander, that's what he's telling you. We're punting on next year.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going. Even if they keep Verlander, they have to do so much.
They got to do more. Of course,
you'll get Diaz back, but I mean, you're really going to have to. And by the way, I mean,
they have to go after Ohtani. I'm telling you, if you don't go after Ohtani, man, then, you know, like I said, he's sold us a bill of goods. That's it.
Yeah, and I don't know enough about Shohei Ohtani that the money is going to be the be-all, end-all. I do think, though, that he's going to have some pressure. Boomer talks about this all the time. He's going to have pressure on him to take the highest deal. Because there's no way that he can take less money than what's out there.
Right.
Because he is legitimately, and the Players Association is very, very strong in Major League Baseball. We know this. He will be the biggest and highest paid free agent in the history of the game, and it's not going to, I don't think anybody else is going to come along and better that. There's just no way because of what he does. So if that is the case, that he's got to take the top dollar. He can't take $3 or $4 million less per year to stay out on the West Coast. He can't do that. And the Players Association is going to be pissed. They're going to say, you got to take every cent, man. You are the guy. You are our golden goose. You can't be taking less money to stay out there.
No, I get that, but I mean, now I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But look, there's a lot of things to this. I mean, how would he deal with New York? I mean, New York is not California. I mean, let's be honest. It's not Anaheim and it's not LA either.
Yeah.
All right? Even though the fans out there are disasters. But the Dodger fans, I can't stand them.
Yeah, I know.
When we were out there, I mean, they're worse than the Patriot fans.
They were pretty bad. They were pretty bad.
I hate the Dodgers, by the way. Like, I have gotten to the point, it's at the point now, all right? And there was a time when I was growing up, even though I was a Met fan, I really liked Sandy Koufax and all that. I don't know why, but it really was a fan of his when he was pitching. And I kind of liked the Dodgers back then. I hate him now. I hate Lasorda. After the social home run, forget about it.
Yeah, he's
nothing but hatred for the Dodgers.
Right. Remember
I can't stand him.
Yeah, Tommy Lasorda. We saw him out there when we went out to L.A.
He's one of the biggest phonies of all time. He is. I mean, let's be honest. I know he's passed away, but he's one of the biggest phonies that ever lived. And there's no other way to say it. He is.
Yeah. Yeah, you did not want to talk to him in the press dining when we were out there. You did not want to talk to him.
I got nothing to say to him.
We did talk to Vin Scully, though, and he gave us...
Vin Scully's a different story.
Right, and he gave us the Omir Santos story.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Omir Santos story?
The only thing I remember about Omir Santos is the home run he hit in Fenway against the Red Sox to win a game way back when.
Yeah.
The Met catcher.
Yeah, so we were sitting there in press dining. I'll never forget this.
Go ahead.
And it was me, you, and Jay Horowitz.
Okay.
And
I do remember that.
At Dodger Stadium. And Vin Scully walks by, and Jay was nice enough to say, hey, these are some guys that came in from New York. Vin, this is Joe, this is Greg. Evan was somewhere putting the lineups in his book, So then Vin goes, nice to meet you guys. You've got a catcher named Omir Santos, and I'd never heard the name Omir before. So I asked the fine young ladies that work here in the dining hall that speak Spanish. I said, Omir, is that a common name? What does Omir mean? And they all started laughing and putting their hands over their mouths and cackling. And they told me that Omir is a slang word for penis.
Did he say that?
You've got a catcher named Penis.
Why don't I remember that?
Yeah, we laughed forever. Well, you don't remember. The memory is shot.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I don't.
From the 60s, it's good.
I don't. Well.
But you know what I'm saying?
I don't remember that with Vin Scully saying that.
Oh, my God. That was the greatest moment of all time. That was my favorite story.
That's your all-time number one moment? Okay.
No.
I don't know why I don't remember that.
Greatest sports moment of all time. Maybe. Greatest sports story, I think.
Oh, okay.
That's up there. It's top 5. Top 5 moments.
You know what? I don't know. Maybe I was in a daze. I don't remember it.
We were possible. High for a good portion of that trip.
Yeah, I guess so. That was the trip we had the near disaster at the airport.
Oh my God!
Which really was not. You didn't know that I had nothing with me. You didn't know that. I would never go back with anything.
Right. Okay, well, there was a German Shepherd that had its schnoz right in your crotch. I was like,
well, it might have, but I mean,
I was sitting over there.
Thank God I washed up that day.
Evan and I were waiting there going, this is it. I mean, he's going
I'll
down.
Never forget that. And I didn't even, like I said, I had no issue because I knew I'm okay. You know?
Right.
But you didn't know that.
No.
I remember you saying, "What are we going to tell Chernoff?"
Well, he was going to blame me too. You're going to be on the back page of the New York Post. I was like, this is a nightmare. Yeah, remember the earthquake when we were out there too?
Oh yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, that I do remember.
That was funny because so we were out on the balcony enjoying ourselves. And Evan was watching his iPad, probably, going back in 1988 Mets games. And we're outside drinking, hanging out. And I'm like, did you feel that? And then Evan comes running out. And he's like, oh, my God, it's an earthquake. And then you just went, I didn't feel a thing, bro.
It didn't last long. It was very short.
Yeah, no, it was very short. Yeah. And it ended up being like a 6.2 on a Richter scale.
Was it that high?
Yeah. But it was not very close to us. But yeah, we got some good ones, man. That's
California, man. You get a lot of those.